In this video, we're going to be covering the first stage of the 6-point or 6-part sequence for building a method shaving process from the beginning to the end. And today we're going to cover what is called the priming and the pasting process. This is the beginning of the shaving cycle. We were going to build our mix, we're going to put it up on our face, and then we're going to buffer it. And to do that, I'll be using my shave cloth. I'll be using what is called a bar primer. This is, of course, just like our 400-gram primer that so many of you are familiar with, and also like the original olive oil primer that I've talked about before. This is just another form of primer. It's in a bar form. It works beautifully. All of these primers work perfectly for this type of process. I'm going to take my bar, I'm going to drop it in my water. I'm going to drop my cloth in my sink with hot water. And we're going to, in this segment, we're going to build the primer, and then we're going to extract the primer from the cloth. We're going to put it up on our terrain. We're going to touch our paste. We're going to paste up, and then we're going to cut. So what I've got is, I've been soaking it just for a moment, our cloth and hard soap primer. I'm going to pick my cloth up, and I'm going to gently squeeze the excess water out of it, not all of it. It's still very wet. You can see some of the water is even flinging off of it. This is the perfect level of wetness in the cloth. It's dripping a little bit here on my counter, all right? But it's not gushing out. I'm going to hold it like a diamond. Tip of the cloth extending beyond the middle finger, and the other tip of the cloth going up the arm. This is really important to understand how this cloth is held. I'm going to take my bar soap right here. I'm going to put it right in the middle of the primer. Right in the middle of the cloth. And I'm going to take some cutting balm, which is what we call a peaking agent. It's going to thicken the mix. It's very important to have cutting balm in this because otherwise the mix will be too thin and too fast, and you will possibly or most likely overblade. So I'm going to take some cutting balm. And those of you who want to know how much cutting balm to put on, that's about how much to put on your hard soap primer. It's about the size of a silver dollar. I mean, it's not too much, but it's not just a drop or two either. Then what we do, for those of you who want to accelerate the process a little bit, we can take some activator, my Hydrolast activator, a couple shots of that, fold your cloth over the top of the primer, and we're going to backsplash a little bit of water on here to get it to activate, and we're going to take the tips and we're going to start to scrub. And what you're doing here is you're just working the cloth on one side and bring it back to the other. You'll notice it's peaking up very beautifully. It doesn't take much. It's not much effort at all. Get both sides. Watch the cloth. Watch the peaking action of the mix. All right. Ready to go? If you'll notice, this thing is loaded. Loaded full of mix. Those of you who are having a problem getting your mix off the cloth, you can see this is extremely rich, silky, very wet. I'm holding the cloth, folding the mix back through the cloth. Fold it over, back, fold it over. Take your thumb and index finger of your left hand or right, whichever one is your dominant, and you're going to pull the excess mix off the cloth. Do not empty the cloth. Just pull the excess off the edges of the cloth. Grab the cloth. You can run it through one more time if you want. You can see we've got a massive amount of wet mix media here that we're going to be using. Fold it back. One more round. And we have what is called a hydrogenic sac. It's full of water. And this is what we're going to put up on our terrain. Now, for those of you who want to do something more with this, you'll notice, look at this. Thick, beautiful, rich. Those of you who want to call this shaving cream are sadly mistaken. This is not shaving cream. This is what is called wet mix. It's a term unique to method shaving. This is extremely wet, very durable, very elastic. This will take a piece of steel and melt it. We take this, cut it, and we're going to slab it up on the skin, which you'll see in our next video, and then we're going to paste it up and we're going to cut it. Those of you who would like to accelerate this, would like to thin it out somewhat to stretch and cut it, you can take some activator, a couple of shots of activator, and you can hand mix it, roll it over in the palm of the hand, and you will thin it out very, very nicely, make it very wet. You can also take a little bit of water, throw it on the mix, fold it over, load it up with hydrate, water if you will, make it even wetter. Look at this. Lay it up and paste up, buffer it, and then we cut. In the meantime, your cloth is sitting on the side of your sink. The mix is cooking in the cloth. It's thickening and it's tightening up and it's beginning to concentrate. And this is a marvelous part of this whole process. When you pick your cloth up and you want to extract more mix from it, just open it up, grab the end, hold it down here, and extract. Best mix in the world right here. Again, you're full of water. Some of the water has evaporated, so you have a really nice, thick, beautiful media here. You can lay it up and cut some more. Rarely, if ever, I've never seen a case where a shaver's had to go through 2 full loads of wet mix extracted from my cloth. That has not happened. You have so much mix here, it's unbelievable. That much mix right there can shave probably 3 different individuals. Even when that is gone, you still have some mix in your cloth. And what you can do then, if you haven't emptied it out, if you want to run another round of mix through there, which I doubt you'll need to, just throw some water on here. You don't need to use your hard soap primer again. All you have to do is just work it up. Pull over, just again fold it lengthwise. Look at this, look at this. More. I just add a little bit of water to it, and I'm back in business all over again. In our next segment, we'll address the subject of the paste up and then the subsequent blade off. Thank you.